Hey y'all, I didn't think to prop y'all up. I know the phone will shake if I don't, so now I'm trying to prop y'all up. Of course. So the lighting isn't the best. I'm actually like sitting on my porch. I'll show y'all. Outside our apartment, but the weather is crazy, so it's not gonna be the best lighting. But I didn't really want to hold my phone because it'll get shaky, because I'll get shaky. But it's been I don't know exactly when. I went on last year sometime and shared my story, and it's something that I've become passionate about because I've been through it personally. And you know, you get these causes that you become personally engrossed in because of personal experiences or experiences of people that you love. And anxiety and depression is something that luckily more so, and now if anybody's outside my apartment complex, they're gonna hear this, but you know what, that's good. So it's something, see, this lighting's way better. It's something that people kept hush hush for so long, you know. I actually added a donate button to the bottom, and it's for hey girl, it's for a anxiety and depression fundraiser. So feel free to donate. You don't have to. It was just something I decided to add since we were talking about it. Apparently they help people going through that. But anyways, it's probably been a year since I've shared my story, and I've gotten so many new Facebook friends from my business on my Facebook since then. So I wanted to share it again because it's been a long time since I've shared my story. And I know I share posts and stuff like that, text versions, but I haven't really gone live to talk about it. And I get, y'all, I can do a zillion makeup tutorials. I can do business tutorials. I can do lives teaching about network marketing and all this stuff, and I don't get nervous anymore. But this, my hands are shaking because I pride myself on being raw and real with y'all. And this is as real as I get, because this is not an easy thing to talk about. And I know so many people say, I get so many messages, y'all, about how confident I am. And like how people couldn't, they wish they could have my spirit and stuff like that. And this was long fought. It was hard fought. A few years ago, I fought depression. I still fight anxiety. That's something that sticks with you forever. It's not something that just goes away. It's not something, you know, once you get it and once you fight it, and even though you overcome it, you live with it every single day. And I saw this video the other day, and that's what inspired me to share my story again. And it was, y'all probably saw me, I shared it, and it was talking about this girl talking to her mom, how she explained anxiety to her mom. And Matt was sitting beside me because he was with me. We were married when I went through it, and he tried so hard to understand what I was going through, and he couldn't. God bless him, he couldn't. And so when I watched that video, he was sitting beside me, and I had tears streaming down my face by the end of it. And I looked at Matt and I said, Matt, that's exactly how I've always tried to explain to you anxiety, and I've never been able to. Unless you go through it, it's just so hard. You can sympathize, of course, but it's hard to really understand the difference between a person with anxiety and a person that does not have anxiety. Like, anytime I leave my house, I go through a checklist, making sure I turned off all the lights. And this is when we're driving down the road. I make sure I turned off my lights, make sure I turned off my coffee maker, make sure, and then if I can't remember turning something off, like say my coffee maker or my flat iron, or normal person thinks, I hope I turned my flat iron off. A person with anxiety thinks, I hope I turned my flat iron off. And then a minute later, I hope I turned my flat iron off. And then 30 seconds later, I really hope I turned my flat iron off. I really, really hope I turned my, you know, I just don't understand. I don't remember turning my flat iron off. Did I turn my flat iron off? Oh my gosh, I really need to go home and check and see if I turned my flat iron off. My house is gonna burn down. The whole neighborhood's gonna burn down. My dogs are going to die in this flaming house full of flames because I didn't turn my flat iron off. I've got to turn my flat iron off. and then you turn around and you make sure, and all along your flat iron was off. You know, you just can't let it go, because it's going to sit there in your mind and it's going to pester you until you figure out if you turn that dang flat iron off. And depression, I never had anxiety until I went through depression. So it kind of came with it, I guess. And depression was tough. It is so tough, because at first you don't even realize you're going through depression. You don't realize that that's what it is. You just think you're sad. You know, things happen and they make you sad. But it's not sad. I'm gonna set this down so the light is not going to be quite as good. But all right, so a few years ago I went through this, of course. Matt and I have been married 6 years, for anybody that doesn't know that story. We've been married 6 years, and right after we got married, we moved to Washington State, which is ironically enough where we're at now. And we did it for his job. And we've been on the road, moving from place to place for his job ever since we got married, so for 6 years. And I like to blame the weather, you know, and stuff like that, but many things happened in my life in that time period that propelled me into depression, and I didn't know that's what it was doing. I didn't know that that's the road that I was about to go down. You just, you know, things happen, and then another thing happens, and then another thing happens, and then another thing happens. And I'm not really going to go into the details of what happened in my life, but I will go through, you know, it was hard. It was hard on my marriage. It was hard on my family. Right? It was hard on all of my relationships, because I didn't care. There was nothing that Matt could do right in my eyes in that time, and I'm so thankful that he loved me enough to stay with me, because he wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just nothing was right in my mind. Nothing could be right, so no one could do anything right. And I've always been a very quiet person, so I didn't talk about it. My mom worried about me, but I wouldn't talk about it to her. Matt was worried about me, but I wouldn't talk about it with him. I didn't talk about it with anybody. I just stayed in a ball in my house all day long and cried, basically, and cried. And then he would come home from work and I'd be crying, and he's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm, you know what? I don't know. It's your fault. I blamed him for everything. I blamed him for everything because he was the closest person to me, and it was easy to do. There was a point where I didn't care if I lived, y'all. I did not care. I was not suicidal. Thank God I was not suicidal. I grew up in a very Christian household, and so suicide, you know, that's just, I can't ever see that as an option for any reasons. And I hope, you know, all of my Facebook friends would contact me if they ever felt that way, so that I could help them through that. But I wasn't. But I also didn't care about my life. It was not important to me. I didn't ever think I would feel sane again. I didn't ever think that I would feel happy again. I didn't ever think that I would feel happiness again. I didn't. Joy was a thing of the past, and it didn't matter what happened. Anything could have happened. Nothing could make me happy. And the more that you feel that feeling and you let that feeling continue in you, the more that you go deeper and deeper and deeper into this, I call it a black hole. Obviously it's not a real black hole, but that's what I like to call it, because it's so hard. But I like to encourage, Jesus saved my life. And I know a lot of people say that, and I know a lot of people say that for different reasons. He really did. He saved my life. One day, I never slept, ever. I would stay up all night long. I'd go to my living room, or no, I'd stay in bed, and I'd just watch TV, and I'd never sleep. And I'd cry. I'd cry about everything. I would cry about literally everything. And then one night, I was watching TV, and I was just had this feeling, this overwhelming feeling to read my Bible. And we were in California when this happened, and I had pulled out my Bible, y'all, in years. I actually didn't even realize we had one in the house. That's how long it had been since I had read my Bible. I wasn't going to church or anything like that. I hope so. I truly do. It's not easy to share this, to be this vulnerable, but you know, once you've gotten out of that black hole, I know how hush-hush depression is, and I know how hush-hush anxiety is. And as the years go by, more people are talking about it. But to me, I want to talk about it even though it's tough and I'm about to start crying and I'm shaking on the inside. Because I feel like the more I talk about it, maybe other people will want to share their feelings, you know, on the inside, because you have all these feelings on the inside and it is so tough. You can't even interpret them to other people. You know, I wanted to explain my feelings to Matt. I tried to one time and he looked at me and he said, "I don't even know what you're saying." And I was like, "Babe, I don't either. I don't either." You know, but I got this overwhelming feeling to read my Bible. So I did. I got up, I dug and ended up waking up Matt, and I found my Bible in the top of a closet. And I just opened it in the middle. I didn't know what verse to go to, and I just read a chapter. And then I went to bed. I didn't feel any different. I'm not going to say like I magically felt different the next day. I didn't. But that night, the next night, I got that feeling again. And so I listened. I finally listened because, you know, I was tired of crying. I was tired of feeling so bad about myself. I was tired of feeling bad about everything else. And I was just tired of feeling that feeling. And so I did the same thing. I read my Bible again. I just read a chapter, a random chapter. I continued to do that every single night for weeks. And God did a lot of work on me. So I started going back to church. I started praying more. I started really spending a lot of time with God. And He pulled me out of my depression. He pulled me out of myself. He pulled me out of the dark thoughts and the dark feelings and all the darkness. And I always thought that personal development was silly and crazy. I always rolled my eyes at the whole section of the bookstore. I've always been a reader, but I always, you know, rolled my eyes. I was always that type that was like, really? Come on, a self-help book? And I don't actually read self-help books, but I do like to do a lot of personal development. I like to read inspirational stories. I like to read about women that have been boss babes, but I don't mean like just have built businesses, you know, have done anything, you know, powerful and meaningful to them. I'm all about women empowerment. I truly am. And it's because I feel like the only word I can really think of is oppressed. And I'm not meaning like I feel like women are oppressed, but I do feel like we're mean to each other. We're mean to each other. You know, we oppress. I'm saying the word lightly because I don't actually mean, you know what I mean, like slavery and oppression or anything like that. But we're mean to each other, and it's awful, y'all, because, you know, we already fight men being mean to us, not understanding us as women, and we fight trying to get equal pay, and we fight all these things. And we're mean to each other, you know, and it's awful because you don't know what that person is going through. Some people were so mean to me when I was going through that, and it made me not want to live, y'all, not want to live. And, you know, you don't ever know what someone's going through. You never know what someone's going through. When you run into someone that has cut eyes at you or been mean to you, how you respond to her can either change her life in a good way or a bad. You know, you don't know what she went through the night before. You don't know if she was in an abusive relationship, or, you know, if someone she loves has just died, or whatever she may be going through, you know. So I try to meet, and being someone that tries to put herself out there, that goes live and all these things, you would be surprised how many mean emails I get and comments I get. I delete them before people see them, and I don't usually respond unless I say like God bless you or something like that. But you would be surprised. Like, I feel so bad for celebrities now because I'm not by any means a celebrity. I mean, let's just be honest here. I'm a little girl from Citronelle, Alabama, a very small town. But you know, I kind of get what, you know, like tabloids and stuff putting all of this mean stuff out, because I get a lot of mean comments. And so that's kind of why I like to go on here as well and show what I really have been through, and why I really believe in women empowerment. And it's because we are beautiful creatures, y'all, and there's so many of us that are going through depression and anxiety, and we don't think we have anybody to talk to. And if you are ever going through something like this and you do want to talk to someone that's been through it, message me. I don't care if we're not friends on Facebook and you just came across this video somehow. I don't care if you formerly hated me. You kicked my dog. Please don't kick my dog. I don't care about any of that. Reach out to me. I will never judge you, ever, by anything that you tell me. I won't try to sell you makeup, I promise. But I will listen. I will listen because I've been there. And I know how hard it can be trying to explain to people how you're feeling. And then people that haven't been through it and they're just like, huh? Just get over it, you know, just stop feeling that way. And you can get through it, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen in 1 day or 2 days or even a week maybe. You know, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of personal development, a lot of Jesus. And I will sing his praises for the rest of my life until I stop breathing, because he truly, when I say he saved my life, he actually saved my life. And so I've been asked before, I've been told before, you go live and you run a business on Facebook, you shouldn't talk about Jesus so much. And I'm sorry, but I would rather someone block me than think that I should stop talking about Jesus. I would give my business up in a heartbeat. And we're at the top, my team and I are at the top 2% of the company now. So we're up there. And I would give up my business in a heartbeat if Jesus wanted me to, because he saved my life, and he can save your life too. And I promise this, I'm not going to keep preaching about Jesus. Well, I mean, I am, but not right now. So that's just a short version of my story. I didn't take any notes, so I know I've been scrambled and all over the place, but it's very, very hard to talk about this and to be this vulnerable. It's a lot easier to share a picture or somebody else's video than to go live and actually tell my story and what happened to me and my feelings and, you know, my thoughts. But to me, this is what I get up every day for. This is what I have built up my network for, is to help women. And men, if I can help you, I am more than happy to, but my passion is women. It truly, truly is. I feel like once you empower a woman, she's unstoppable. And I don't mean I want all the women to join my team. I mean, I do, obviously. But I mean, whatever your passion is, go do that. Because once you empower a woman, she's unstoppable. She can do anything. And I truly believe that. And so, I know I've been rambling, so I'll stop. But if you ever want to talk, please, please, please feel free to reach out to me. I will answer you, I promise. And I love y'all. I love how sweet y'all have been to me. Everyone has been so kind to me since I've started my journey with Unique and my journey with self-development and putting myself out there and doing videos and lives. Everyone has been so kind to me, and I've heard horror stories. I mean, not everyone. Obviously, I've had mean comments and messages, but it's been way more nice comments and messages than mean. I've heard horror stories about people just getting non-stop mean comments, and I'm so thankful that I haven't had any, I like to say, virtual tomatoes thrown at me. I'm so thankful for all of y'all for listening, and I hope this helps encourage someone that is going through it today, that you can smile again. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and his name is Jesus. Honestly, it is. But if I can help in any way, help you find that light, please reach out to me. And it doesn't have to be just for anxiety or depression, which is my passion, but in any way, shape, or form. If you need a little empowerment or a prayer or just a encouraging message, I'm your girl. I promise. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. I need to go prepare supper because I'm gonna make Matt a special meal tonight. So y'all have a great evening. Be safe, please, and God bless y'all.